cue the ski lift music and buckle that neon windbreaker because we're going back to the days when multimedia meant a Sound Blaster 16 that squealed like a happy modem. Winter Olympics. Lillehammer 94 is, paradoxically, both the platonic ideal of an IOC licensed cash-in and a lovable mutt that keeps chasing its own tail down the bobsled run. Underrated. Some afternoons I convince myself the biathlon module is secret genius. Overrated. Watch the luge riders morph into low-poly noodles at 12 frames per second and get back to me. Is it essential? Only if you consider instant cocoa memories essential to the human experience. Hint, I do. Disposable? Sure. But like that VHS of Batman Returns you refuse to throw out, it radiates a warped cathode ray warmth that modern emulation just can't replicate. Does my keyboard still smell like pizza parlor grease from 1994? I ask rhetorically. Of course it does, and of course I'm proud. Historical context. By late 1993, the world had decided that polygons were the future. Doom splattered demons across 486. Daytona, USA rumbled arcades, and somewhere in between, US Gold lifted the Olympic torch for the second time. Their previous outing, Olympic Gold, Barcelona 92, had sold respectably, so renewing the license for Lillehammer felt like a slam dunk, or perhaps a triple axle. They tapped the ever-prolific Tiertex design studios, augmented on PC by abstract images and unexpected development, to crank out code for every platform short of your toaster. Amiga, check. Genesis and SNES, check. Game Gear, Master System Game Boy, check, check, check. And of course IBM-compatible DOS machines, where 6 3.5-inch floppies and 8 megabytes on your hard drive made you king of the school LAN. Timing, though, was funky. Lillehammer itself wouldn't open until February 1994, yet the DOS build hit North America in late 93 to catch holiday shoppers. Euro kids had to wait for snow season proper in early 94. PC sports libraries of the era were split between EA's glossy TV-style presentations and Microprose's stat bibles. US Gold aimed dead center, promising quickfire events you could pass the keyboard at family gatherings instead of parsing hex editor depth charts. The manual brags about television realism, a brave line when VGA dithering was the norm, and your monitor maxed at 320 by 200. Still, the Olympic rings on the box lent gravitas that Alpine Racer 2 or Epyx's winter games couldn't match. Personal flashback, my local XP arcade, really a pizza shop with 4 network towers, ran the title on rotation next to Commander Keen. I remember the clerk, sporting a glorious Zach Morris coif, grumbling, some snowboard game with no snowboard event. Accurate enough, yet the place filled with wannabe Olympians anyway, each hammering cockerel as if the bar counted macros. Lillehammer fever was real. Tanya Harding jokes were currency. Even the acoustic version of Lillehammer Lily Ha Ha played on local radio. US Gold rode that wave straight onto my 486's autoexec.bat. Mechanics, let's carve the slopes, and my sanity by tackling the 10 DOS disciplines in the only logical order, whichever one broke my spacebar first. Alpine Quartet, downhill, super G, giant slalom, slalom. One shared engine, 4 risk profiles. Perspective hovers behind your skier like a GoPro before GoPros existed. Arrow keys edge, cockerel tucks, alt brakes. Unless you remap the INI buried 3 directories deep. Yes, DOS offered config files before they were cool. Miss a gate and eat a fat DQ. Clip 2 gates, rage quit. Thread the perfect line and feel like Jean-Claude Killy trapped in 256 colors. Collision detection remains endearingly chaotic. Graze a flag at 100 kph and nothing happens. Yet smack a pine at half speed and your sprite explodes into a yard sale of pixels. Somewhere in that inconsistency lies charm, or Stockholm Syndrome. Bobsled and luge. Same icy chute, different seating arrangements. The track's faux 3D tunnel was Tiertex's answer to Mode 7 Envy, complete with parallax snowbanks that warp if your VGA refresh drifts. Steering relies on feather taps. Hold a direction too long and you ricochet like a hockey puck. My favorite absurdity, nudging the right wall merely shaves half a second, but rubbing the left can spin you 180 degrees, as if the barrier moonlights as a physics professor out of spite. Ski jumping, officially one event, unofficially 2 hills, 90 meters and 120 meters, stuffed into the same code. The camera swings from behind the back to side on mid-flight, a cinematic flourish that tanks frame rate harder than a Windows update. Timing your crouch release for the takeoff marker feels like performing a Street Fighter II Dragon Punch on an IBM Model M land with skis a hair too high and the judges viciously deduct style points. Conspiracy theory, they're really the 98 figure skating panel practicing early. Biathlon, the crown jewel, change my mind. Mash left or right to propel your pixel athlete while monitoring a heart icon that cycles faster than a modern RGB keyboard. Arrive at the range and the game morphs into a 5-shot carnival gallery. Hold space to steady, tap Ctrl to fire, pray for hit detection. Get perfect bullseyes and your skier rockets downhill with superhuman vigor. Rumors of a no-pole glitch and skier leaves the station T-posing echo across Usenet archives, but I've never reproduced it, so file that under urban legends of Lillehammer. Short track speed skating, overhead view, razor thin turning radii, AI opponents who draft like F-Zero pilots. The inertia model exaggerates momentum such that missing the apex once can send you into the padded boards, yet nailing the slipstream feels smoother than a Sailor Moon VHS tape. Trust me, that's smooth. Counting those up, 4 alpine, bob, luge, jump, biathlon, short track. You hit 10 total disciplines on DS, neatly matching the official spec. Console players traded one of the dual jump hills for freestyle moguls, keeping the count at 10. Nobody got more unless you hacked the cartridge with a Game Genie. Some Genesis owners swear the cheat screen offers infinite turbos, but that's a separate fever dream. Audio-visual sauce, AdLib brass that honks like a flock of sarcastic geese, digitized crowd whoops compressed harder than a 90s real audio file, and sprite palettes tweaked so Brazil and Finland share identical ski jacket teal, meaning you can mod the flags and invent Brazafin, king of snow carnival nations. The UI, bathed in IOC teal, helpfully reminds you which key is brake. Spoiler, I never used it. Multiplayer is hot seat only, turning Christmas reunions into rhythmic keyboard percussion concerts where Aunt Marie screeches left, left, like a distressed lemming, legacy, and influence. Critical reception at launch hovered in the beige middle. Computer gaming world shrugged. PC Gamer offered a gentleman's C. British mags praised the license but panned the frame rate. Sales, however, weren't terrible. European bargain bins slotted it alongside Sensible Soccer and Cannon Fodder for years. Yet when Konami nabbed the Nagano 98 rights and delivered a flashier arcade-style successor, Tiertex's branch of the Olympic lineage froze in place like a forgotten snow angel. No code base carried forward, no fanfare marked its retirement. Influence exists if you squint. The decathlon-style points table, ranking cumulative performance, not just medal counts. Anticipated scoring in later multi-discipline games such as ESPN International Winter Sports 2002, Dreamcast PS2, and even Sega's Mario and Sonic series. The moddable INE scheme let DOS tinkerers remap keys for aftermarket gamepads, arguably an early nod toward universal input standards. And yes, speedrunners have discovered frame skip exploits. By toggling DOS box cycles mid-corner, you can clock absurd sub-10 second bobsled times. A quirk so niche it deserves its own preservation society. But the most persistent legacy is simpler. Whenever retro forums discuss Olympic titles, somebody invariably name drops Lillehammer 94 with a nostalgic groan. Half affection, half carpal tunnel PTSD. As for that rumored mascot mode starring Håkon and Kristen, no credible dump, leak, or cheat string has surfaced. The sprites exist, manual art confirms their digital likeness, but they never stride onto the slopes. Chalk it up to bulletin board mythos, alongside Shenlong in Street Fighter 2. If you unearth proven code, historians await your call. Closing paragraph plus score Winter Olympics. Lillehammer 94 remains the video game equivalent of a thrift store wool sweater. Scratchy, oddly aromatic, yet weirdly comforting once you break it in. It stumbles hard, yet delivers sporadic thrills that more polished contemporaries forgot, wrapping the whole package in a 5-ringed bow that screams 1994 called and wants its design language back. I can't slap a gold medal on it, but I refuse to hang it from the disqualification board either, so here's my verdict, delivered with all the gravitas of a malfunctioning AdLib trumpet. Final score 6.0 out of 10, a sturdy bronze 4 effort, elevated by nostalgia and a biathlon module that still makes my WPM look heroic. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm off to ice my forearms. That downhill tuck key isn't going to mash itself.